What is up, everybody? I want to go over today's pre-market plan. Today is Friday, February 9th. I want to go through the plan, how I executed it, how it should have been executed, and what I thought throughout the day. Now, with that being said, I said on NQ under 17,900. This really doesn't matter. Never really hit underneath this. I said to the top side, we can look to long off of any of these levels. The first one I'm looking at is a hold of 17,900. If we do not get this low and take off immediately, I'll look to long at 17,940 with good buying pressure and take profits 17,972 and then 1,800. I said ES the exact same setup. For support, I'll be looking at 50.20, and for buyers to step in this area and long to 50.35, then 50.43, and if we can squeeze to 50.50. With that being said, this was the big news candle that came out this morning. Then market opened up just underneath. It was testing these level of buyers and sellers around this area. We ended up getting a nice dip to 17,875 and rallying a small amount. Now within this rally, if we go to a 1 minute candle, we can see that we came up, we found buyers. I actually took a short off of this level and ended up cutting it right here when we stopped moving down. You can see selling died off and buyers stepped into the tape right here. And then we ended up coming up, testing over 17,900. We got just underneath and you see immense buying pressure right here. I immediately got long at 17,905.25. Again, immediate buying pressure happened. We came to this pre-news area. We wicked down a little bit. We found great support in here and we just kept on moving up. So your first take profit would have been at this area right here. The way I risked my trade, it would have been a 17.8 trade. And then we came up immediately again with not much pullback to 17,800, which was take profit 2, which was my final take profit that I was looking to trade at. The market ended up coming even higher to 1871. Was I expecting this big of a move? No, I was not. I was expecting 1800 to hit and sellers to step in. Now, if you see this, you can see on these candles, it'll be a little bit easier to see on a 15-minute chart that when we hit this area, sellers did step in, but they stepped in all the way up here. There was basically no sellers at this 1800 area. You can see down here, not much selling. Anything that dipped down ended up getting supported. So that was the basics of the NQ trade. I'm going to go over to what I said in the middle of the day. At 9:20 a.m., I said I want to see how we act in these two zones. And then this is just a picture of 17,900 area. And then above where this consolidation is, where there were sellers from news. As you can see, this was my position that I entered. 3 cons at this level right here. I posted this at 9:53. Now for ES, we hit this consolidation area that I marked from previous day to the absolute tick. We found buyers over 50.20, like I stated that I was looking for, and we ran all the way up to 50.48. Now my areas to take profits on this were 50.35 right here, then also 50.43, which showed no selling once we hit it, so you could have ended up holding it a little bit higher, and then we topped out at 50.48. 2 points, less than 2 points shy of the final take profit of the pre-market plan, which would have been 30 points on ES. So for today's pre-market plan, it was pretty straightforward to get in the morning, and then you could have just let it sit all day long. So it was 30 points on ES and over 100 points from where we were looking to buy to sell on NQ, and 170 points in total for if you would have ran up all the way to the top. With this being said, it is a lot harder to trade in this market because as traders, we go through previous candles, previous months, weeks, and we look for patterns, supply and demand, resistances, everything like that. So trading at all-time highs when there's nothing to look back on, as retail traders, we're already at a disadvantage trading, as everyone knows. But if you have nothing to look back on at all, you're basically just telling someone to look at these 3 candles to the left and plan your day. It's very hard to take short trades or even buy trades at these tops. You don't know where sellers are going to come in. There's no previous resistances or sellers in the market at these areas. That's why you can see once we hit these all-time highs, look how volume dies down. Also, like I stated in my last pre-market plan, the volumes of the days, they're a lot lower. As soon as we hit these all-time highs, the volume just dips down, like here and where we were at today, and even yesterday. You can see, especially when sellers are in the market, there are a lot more volume going through, especially recently. You can see all these higher bars are all sellers, especially these days and these days in here. The one big selling day that we had also is another high volume day over here. So theoretically, with the big selling volume coming in, you're going to get bigger moves. and you will be able to capitalize on more money. We can also look at ATR. NQ has an average ATR of about 240. Today we hit 216, I'm sorry, which is pretty good. That's about average. But the day before, we only hit 104 points out of the whole day from bottom to top. So as a trader, when you're looking for big moves or good moves, and you have a day that has only 104 point range, I believe ES had a 16 point range yesterday. And now our pre-market plan today just gave us over 30 points from our plan alone. So we did double the points just in our plan today than we did ES on the whole day yesterday from bottom to top. So these are scenarios that you don't want to trade in, days that are less likely to be traded. Your overall percentage of making a good trade at that point is very low compared to an average day. So we want to make sure when we see these things, we either take less size in the market, less chances, or we don't trade them at all. After this initial break of 1800, I stopped looking at the screens because it didn't make any sense, in my opinion. Obviously, in hindsight is always 2020. In my opinion, after 1800, it made no sense to trade. We're breaking a key point. We already moved up so much. So how much more are we going to really move up? Or how much more do you think we're going to move up? Also, there was no sellers all day long. So why even try to short it? If you ended up getting long, you could have got a nice 70 points out of it all, which would have been great. But we already moved up so much that personally, for my style of trading, the risk was not worth the reward. And shorting here, again, didn't make sense. You would have got destroyed every time you tried shorting, unless you got the exact top at 245. So I hope that gave you good insight on the pre-market plans. Now every day the market is open, I post my pre-market plans for NQ and ES, and I post my intraday thoughts. You can find all my links in the description below. And along with the Discord, I also have a master course that teaches you basically everything that I know. It's not just supply and demand. It's also psychological. It's emotions. It's mental. It's basic math that every trader should go through. And different forms of trading along with VWAP strategies, support and resistance, sizing up on your trades, and sizing in on your trades. There's so much more to cover. There's over 7 hours of straight to the point videos. So I'd recommend go giving my links in the description a look. And thank you for watching.